here we are at Intertraffic.
What a great event.
It's great to be here.
Yeah,
and great to meet you, JT.
Yeah, good to meet you as well.
So what are some of the new, the latest systems that you're showcasing here on the stand?
Well, so it's interesting. You know, the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore has collapsed from the cargo ship impact, and several friends of mine called and said, if they only had your system. It's like, there's nothing we could do about that. There's nothing at all. We take bridges for granted. But each bridge that we drive across, realize it or not, that bridge was designed for a very specific load, whether the load be weight or wind or temperature, things like this. These are all loads. There's a specific design for that bridge. We take it for granted. Most bridges don't just collapse unless they're hit by a cargo ship.
Yeah, that's like 100 million tons or something.
That's correct. So we take these things for granted, yet all along these bridges are talking. These bridges are giving us signs. They are all designed to move, but within what range? And that's what Kistler brings to the table. Structural health monitoring that's monitoring the live data, the live movements of this bridge. We employ accelerometers. By the way, our accelerometer is built in Buffalo, New York. We sell them all around the globe. These accelerometers are placed at various strategic points on the bridge. We work with some bridge experts to decide these strategic points. We use strain gauge to determine the bends, the deflection, the strains on the bridge, if you will. Temperature sensors, inclinometers, if I can say that properly. Very difficult. I'm usually inclined to forget how to say it.
Yeah, I won't try and repeat.
Don't repeat that one. So to tell if the bridge is leaning one way or the other. These are on the columns, the pillars of the bridge. We can monitor strains on the cantilevered portions. So nearly any type of bridge, it's moving, and we can measure that movement. Kistler's a pro at this. This is what Kistler started doing back in the 1950s. So we're still using quartz technology and our charge amplifiers, which is what put Kistler on the map, elevating that very faint signal from quartz into a usable signal. Now we employ this on the bridges. In the US, 350,000 bridges of the roughly 600 and something thousand bridges are approaching the end of their life or have surpassed it. So the design life, that doesn't mean they're all in bad condition. You need to monitor them, right? You need to monitor these bridges. Even new bridges are designed to bear certain loads. And you don't know what load they are bearing unless you're monitoring them. Brand new bridges that are known to be struggling a little bit, they all benefit from Kistler's structural health monitoring system. DOTs want to prevent the overweight trucks from going across the bridge. The two main causes of bridge deterioration and failure, number one is erosion. Can't do much about that. But then the second, and really depends on who you ask, it could be the first, is overweight vehicles. So the faster they're going and the more they weigh, the more of an impact they have on the bridge. Kistler's able to show that impact very specifically, even for a single truck. So we can not only show a bridge analyst the total load on the bridge, but now we can show how much did this 100,000 pound overweight truck, what impact did he have on the bridge? So we can help with enforcement.
Intertraffic Digital is our newest and most advanced weigh motion platform we offer. It is composed of the Linear's digital sensor, and we also offer the hardware components and the whole system and measuring chain up to the graphical user interface. And it delivers the most precise, the most accurate weight data you can get. So here we are at our magnificent demo unit. I'm glad to show it to you. You can see here our whole portfolio of WIM sensors. So we have our 3 Lineas sensors and the newest one, the brand new Lineas Digital, which is the most accurate sensor you can get. It is the most advanced one in our portfolio too. The very special thing about this Lineas Digital sensor is that it delivers a fully digitized signal. And the advantage of it is also that you have across the whole length of the sensor individually measuring quartz. And these quartzes can be calibrated according to the road properties, and that ensures higher accuracy independent of the lane width or where the vehicle passes through the sensor. So this is pretty unique. You have more than 60 elements embedded within here, so it means that this sensor generates more data than any other WIM sensor on the market. With the Intertraffic digital system, you also have access to a bunch of new features, such as the flat tire detection, the interlane driving, where we can monitor free flow driving independent of lane maneuvers or if vehicles switch lanes in open road traffic. And you have also, for example, the smart road calibration, as I mentioned before, where each measuring ports can be calibrated individually across the length of the sensor.
So at a site in New York City, the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway, it's the only site in the US currently where direct enforcement's employed. That means using this weigh in motion data to send a ticket directly to the vehicle owner. It's the only site in the US where this is legal now.
Wow, okay.
But you'll see this snowball because it makes logical and practical sense to do this. There's not much room, especially on this many mile long bridge in New York City, to pull a semi truck over to do an inspection, to weigh them on a static scale. And so the legislation's been passed. They began sending warnings out 3 months prior to ticketing. And just after a few weeks of sending warnings, they saw a 55% reduction in the number of overweight vehicles crossing that bridge. That's the name of the game. It's for the states, it's not about revenue generation. It's really not about revenue generation. It's about protecting these infrastructures. Legislation.
It's exciting, and it seems like the bridge, the idea and the arguments for doing it with a bridge are sort of clearer, aren't they? Particularly if you've got an old bridge is collapsed, the high profile in the news, and all of a sudden that's almost like a focus for this kind, to get this kind of legislation through.
The bridges cause a lot of concern.
Yeah.
We have up here on one of our televisions that our nation is connected through bridges. Our whole world is connected through bridges.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of a sudden when you have a few to fall,
people remember this.
People remember this.
Yeah,
it's a scary thing.
Yeah.
And again, the cargo ship hitting it, there's nothing I can do, but the ones that fall didn't fall all at once. They were sending a gradual message. A gradual message was coming. So that's why this is so important.
So basically what I wanted to point out, and which is very unique about the Kirkpatrick digital system, is the certification we have. We are the world's first OML Class F5 certified system with the highest accuracy. So we can achieve accuracies of up to plus minus 2% of the gross vehicle weight. So that is pretty amazing. And we were the world's first to achieve this certification and are the only ones to still have it to this day. The OML Class F5 R134 certification.
Brilliant.
And that of course facilitates national type approvals since we have this OML certificate. And what I have behind here, what I want to point out and highlight right now is our user interface. So here you will be able to see what our system provides and what data it delivers to the customers. So here you can see a typical VDR or vehicle data record, as we call it. You can see when the vehicle passed the WIM site, the gross weight of the vehicle, which is also computed. You see even the distribution of left and right balance of the weight. You can see the class, so to which classification the vehicle belongs. You can see the number of axles, the direction it was driving to, the speed of the vehicle, the length, and even the distance between axles. So as you can see, a lot of information you're retrieving and you are getting from our Kirkpatrick digital system, and there's room for even more. So this data is very accessible through REST API, through webhooks, to any customer interface, and it can be integrated into higher systems also.